Let's unbox the Mattel Creations exclusive Starships Select Royal Naboo Starship. Varykino. If it's Star Wars, we collect it. Hello there, thanks for visiting Varykino. I know this brown cardboard box does look a little bit plain, but I'm really excited about the contents inside. Now, I love the Hot Wheels Starships Select line. I recently opened up some ships from the most recent wave that arrived here in New Zealand, including that fantastic New Republic E-Wing fighter. And I'm trying to track down as many of the other ships that are missing from my collection. And of course, as a Queen Amidala fan, I was really excited to see that Mattel had announced her Royal Naboo Starship as seen in the Phantom Menace. Now, this was a Mattel Creations exclusive, which meant that I had to order it from the United States, and it arrived a little while ago, and I've been having so much fun opening up the ships from the most recent wave. I think I'm finally ready to open this one up and finally see it. I'm a little bit excited, a little bit nervous, because of course it is sold out, so I can't track down a second one unless I go to the secondary market. And you can see we've got this really dramatic printing here on the box. Of course, I'm really excited to open this one up. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Coming up really soon, I'll take a closer look at the item inside this box. But first, let's take just a quick look at this outer packaging. As a Mattel Creations exclusive, I had to order this from the United States, and thankfully this wasn't the cardboard that they used to ship it in. This brown protective outer box was actually inside another shipping box. So as you can see, this one is nice and tidy. There are no stickers applied to it. Now, it doesn't actually say Star Wars anywhere on the outside of the box. We have a lot of sort of interesting sort of like, ooh, what's inside contains one piece. Then we have this fun, cue dramatic box opening music print here, the Mattel Creations logo there in the text, and of course that side is exactly the same on this side, and then this end is exactly the same on the other end. The top looks like there is a space to apply some sort of sticker denoting what's inside or a shipping label. This is completely clear, and on the underside it just has just sort of cardboard packaging kind of stuff on it. It's very cryptic, and I've really been holding off opening this until I had opened up all of my other Hot Wheels ships, and now I've opened up all of the ones that I have currently in my collection, so it's finally time to open this one up, and I'm really excited. This is my first time opening up any of the boxes from Mattel Creations. It feels very tight and compact around the box inside, and I do want to keep this box intact as much as I can, so I'm going to work a little bit carefully. But it is very tight, which I wasn't kind of expecting. I thought, you know, it'd be just a little bit easier for collectors to kind of get their hands on there. So, okay, so inside we've got some tissue paper wrapped around. That's nice. I like it when the item isn't exactly just directly on the cardboard, so you don't kind of get any scuffing when you're trying to open up your new arrival. So let's just slide that out. We can see some cool pictures there. Okay, so I'm going to put that cardboard box out of the way just for a minute so we can get the tissue paper off. It's always like Christmas when something's wrapped up very neatly like this, isn't it? I'm not going to try and keep this tissue paper. I'm too excited. I'm just going to open this all up. Okay, wow. It's always a little bit nervous when I'm opening up items like this because they have to travel a long way from the United States all the way to me here in New Zealand. And it's always a bit of a relief when I finally see that everything looks nice, nothing's happened to the box. Because I know I generally open up my Mattel Hot Wheels Starships Select. But as you can see, this one comes with just a fantastic special presentation. I'm not actually intending to take out this particular Starship. I want to keep it in this fantastic presentation box, but I do want to go over it in as much detail as I can. This is fantastic. It's so different to the standard packaging for the Starship Select line. What a fantastic, unique way of celebrating the Phantom Menace with such an iconic Star Wars ship. And of course, as a Queen Amidala fan, anything that has a connection to her, like her outfits, her blasters, and things like her starships from the films, I do love to collect them because, you know, I'm a fan of the Naboo style. I just love the ships of Naboo. And of course, this one one doesn't get made in collectible formats very often because it's very, very large if you try and do it in a proper scale for the Hasbro action figures. I do have the one Hasbro made many, many years ago, but I just love it when it's done in a chrome metal finish, the way it really does appear on screen, so you can see that in there. And we have this really cool packaging style. So if you do collect the Hot Wheels Starship Select line, you know that the ships themselves don't have landing gear. They come with display stands. So it's really interesting to see that the ship does actually have little plastic landing gear, which does appear to be attached to the display box, and the ship is kind of resting on it rather than sort of being part of the ship, because they are a gray plastic, which you can kind of see in there, rather than being a silver metal as being part of the ship. It sort of feels like it's part of the packaging supporting the ship rather than being a part of the ship. And the reason why I'm fairly certain that that is part of the packaging is the wording that Mattel used for the website for this one. They described it as being available in a unique vacuum metallized finish that will be exclusive for this release, which the wording of that makes it sound pretty clear that they're going to release this later on in the standard line with a different finish here. We can see that just incredibly silver mirrored finish, the kind of finish that, you know, when I think of sort of vac-metallized Star Wars collectibles, I always think of sort of some of those incredible C-3PO action figures with that incredible sort of metal finish to it with gold, of course. And I love it when we see the silver version of that used for the Naboo Royal Starship because of just that incredible finish. Wow. I love the fact that the printing on the front is a metallic silver as well. That just ties into the actual ship really well there. We've got the large Star Wars logo there with Episode 1, the Phantom Menace. We've also got silver used for the Hot Wheels Starship Select logo over here. And the Mattel logos here. Interesting that they've sort of swapped them around. On the regular line packaging, the Mattel logo's over here, and the Hot Wheels Starships logo is over here. Obviously the box is a very different shape. And we've got the title here underneath the window, Naboo Royal Starship. We've got this fantastic big window here where we can see the ship there. It is a little bit further back from the front of the window, but that's because we've got this interesting image printed on the front of it. It was a little unclear from some of the promotional photos that I saw online. I couldn't quite tell if these were like little cutout cardboard figures that were sort of somehow attached to the base plate inside the box, but they are sort of like a plastic printing on this front window here. So when you sort of tip it up, they just kind of disappear. You can see that they are printed on that front window, which means we get some really nice detail, and you don't ever have to worry about the cardboard sort of folding over or getting a little bit wonky. Really fun there. Of course, that iconic duel where we first see Darth Maul fighting Qui-Gon on Tatooine. That's really cool. It does hide a little bit of the detail of the ship, but I like the scene setting. And of course, the sand and that front printing comes all the way over here and just ties in really well to the cardboard that we've got using for the display base. Now, the base actually kind of tips down towards the surface there, so it kind of lines up to the front here of the window. That's really nice as well. And of course, we've got sort of that blue horizon around the background there. Just such a fantastic rendition of that scene from the film, you know, just the blue of the sky and the yellow sand and stuff like that. Of course, theoretically, there would be like a tiny little Anakin running off in the distance here. And I do note that there isn't like the ramp. There's no ramp on this one. So, you know, technically there would be like a little lowered ramp for Anakin to run up there. But I'm fairly certain that we're going to see a version of this released in the standard line, just with like a slightly different metal finish. It is actually really long, to be honest, a little bit bigger than I was expecting for this particular product line. And I'm fairly certain that we will see this again. I keep saying that because when I think to one of the other Mattel Creations exclusive, which was the ATS with a small Chewbacca figure popping out of the cockpit at the top. Now, originally, the ATSD was only available in that Mattel Creations exclusive version with the Chewbacca figure, but as we now know, the ATSD has been released in the standard line just without the Chewbacca figure. So the cockpit on the top is closed. It comes with a standard base. Now, because I'm not going to open this one up, I'm not really able to check and see if there is a plastic display base for this ship. but honestly, I don't mind. This thing just looks so fantastic in the box. There's no way I'm ever going to take this one out, because I'm fairly certain, because of that wording that they talked about, that the vac-metallized finish is exclusive to this release, which it pretty much implies that, yep, we're going to get another standard version of it later down the line. Because when we think about it, I have here the Mandalorians in one version, which is quite long, but you can see the sort of the silver finish of this one. It's a metallic silver finish. It kind of has that speckle to it. Now, they could very easily release the Royal Naboo Starship with this kind of shiny, brilliant silver finish. Of course, they're both, you know, Naboo ships here that I still think would look pretty cool. Of course, it wouldn't be just that gorgeous silver chrome finish, but it would be a way of releasing this particular ship in the standard line while keeping that exclusive finish to this presentation. And I think it would still look pretty cool on this one. Quite big, a little bit longer. If I just sort of compare these two, it would be a little bit longer than the Mandalorians in one, but I can see the scale there. Of course, this one looks a little bit bigger because it's in the foreground. But of course, the Naboo ships have all of these sort of long, slender parts sort of tapering off. We've got that long nose and those little sort of engine struts there at the back. I just think it would be a really cool addition, and I'm really hoping we won't have to wait too long to see when and where we'll be able to get a standard version of this. Of course, I am speculating. They haven't 100% confirmed it, but I'm fairly certain, especially since this was so popular and it did sell out. So I'm expecting that's going to send some pretty good clues to Mattel that fans do enjoy this ship. It's just so cool. So on the side, we have some more silver foil printing. It says 25 Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and we have sort of a blueprint here of different sort of angles of the Royal Naboo Royal Starship there, that we often have on the inside of the boxes for the Starships Select line. Again, we have the Mattel Creations logo down here and the Hot Wheels Starships logo down there as well. I love the fact that they've used silver foil printing. It ties in so well to the ship. Now, we actually have a lot of text here on the back and a really fun image here as sort of a screen grab from the film here, where we can see Anakin running towards the ship. Obviously, we can see the ramp there lowered for him to board there. We have the Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace logo here on the left, and again, the Hot Wheels Starships Select logo here on the right. We have a lot of text here, and I'll try and read it quickly. When Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, premiered in 1999, Star Wars fans all over the world were eager to see the long-awaited prequel. It introduces a young Anakin Skywalker, the boy who becomes Darth Vader, along with a young Obi-Wan Kenobi, his Jedi Master and the wise sage who takes Luke Skywalker from farm boy to hero in the original trilogy. The film was one of technological innovations much like its predecessors and introduced a new generation to the Star Wars galaxy for the first time. This Hot Wheels Starships Select vehicle is an elegant Naboo Royal Starship. The ship's silver, streamlined, and artistic design highlight the philosophy of the Naboo honoring creativity, luxury, and art. And this die-cast vehicle showcases this methodology with a glorious shine, while the backdrop offers a stark contrast. It is a dry, desolate environment. Here on the Twin Sun desert planet of Tatooine, the winds whip the sand through the air around the ship, as Qui-Gon Jinn leads the young Anakin back to Queen Amidala's Naboo cruiser that he was entrusted to protect. A mysterious black-clad figure on a speeder launches towards them. The Jedi Master and the Sith fighter match wits and strengths as the cruiser begins to ascend. It is an epic, action-packed moment that is merely a prologue to the tragic duel to happen later. Celebrating the Phantom Menace's 25th anniversary, this die-cast starship is crafted to highlight the shining exterior of the royal ship, showcasing its elegance against the harsh landscape of Tatooine, a contrast between the artistry and the battle between good and evil to find balance in the Force. So that's really quite an artistic, really fun little bio there for both the scene, the ship design, and of course this particular collectible. That's really fun. Sometimes I feel like packaging is a little bit of an afterthought, but I was really hoping with a presentation like this, where the box is intended to kind of stay connected to the item, that there would be some really nice touches to the box. And that is a really nice little little bio there. The other side has the same image that we have on the other end, and of course there at the top we have printed in a not metallic finish there, just the Mattel Creations logo there. That looks like just sort of a mid-gray font there at the top. And looking at the underside carefully, we just have a little bit of a copyright text, logos, and all of that kind of stuff there on the underside. Absolutely fantastic. I am so excited that this arrived so nice and tidy. We've got really nice corners, obviously no dings or anything like that to that nice sharp plastic edge there. Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm a big fan of the Phantom Menace and of course of the Naboo Starships. I think they're sleek and beautiful. This is such a fantastic presentation. Oh, wow. I really do hope we get a standard one, because I want to buy like a couple of them so I can add them, one to my Hot Wheels display, one to my Queen Amidala collection. And you know, always got to keep maybe that one in its box just in case, because this is beautiful. And also I think one of the reasons why I want to keep it in its box is because I think fingerprints and dust would really dull the finish to this. You know, those glossy silver finishes, they show up any kind of little marks and things like that. And if I keep it contained in this plastic, it's going to be nice and glossy, you know, for as well as I can. Because sometimes, unfortunately, vac-metallized finishes can be a little bit susceptible to time. No matter how well and how carefully you try and protect them, sometimes it's just skin oils, something in the air, humidity, whatever it is, it can degrade over time. And then you get these little dark patches as the finish starts to degrade over time. And I know sometimes, despite our best efforts, our collectibles do just succumb to time. You know, I'm sure we've all got a vintage action figure that's yellow, despite the fact that we've never put it in the sunlight. So if I can keep it in this box, I think I've got the best chance of keeping it well protected for as many years to come as I can manage. And I think it just looks absolutely beautiful. This is really cool. I love this line. I love seeing some of the starships from Star Wars that don't get the sort of hero treatment in many other lines, either because of their size or just because perhaps certain companies don't think that there is a market for it. I know that for a long time the fans of the prequels were sort of crying out for more merchandise. We got a lot of focus on the original trilogy and then the sequels, and it's really nice to see now that we're hitting the 25th anniversary of the prequel films, as we're going through hitting the anniversaries, that we're getting a lot more celebration and a tie-in merch for some of the fantastic prequel films. And I really this is fantastic. I'm just smiling. It's just really neat to see. You know, when I saw it online, I wasn't sure that I'd be able to grab it. You know, some American websites simply don't ship internationally, so I always kind of try and temper my expectations about whether I'm able to add something to my collection, whether it'll survive the trip to New Zealand, to be honest. And this thing's just got lovely crisp lines. The cardboard is nice and thick, and that's always a good sign. Of course, we can see that we've got a nice corrugated cardboard there in the cross section there. It's just nice and tight there. Now, I do see that there doesn't appear to be any kind of tape here on the sides. So I guess if curiosity got the better of me, I could open it. But to be honest, I just love how crisp and clean. And sometimes it can be very hard to open these ones up without kind of introducing wrinkles and everything like that. And I know that while I might be curious about what else is underneath, because we've got this sort of high section here, there could be some other stuff packed in underneath here. But to be honest, I just love this presentation too much, and I know that I would never take the ship itself out, so I don't want to tamper with it. I think it looks beautiful like this. I think this would be the sort of thing where if you really did intend to take it out, I think you would buy two. I know the website did let customers buy it in limits of two, which means that you could have one in its box and one to open. But this is just so beautiful. I think it looks amazing in its box, so I'm really happy with this one. It's so pretty, and I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing some other prequel ships showing up in the main Hot Wheels Starships Select line, because I know there have been some, but unfortunately and weirdly, a lot of the prequel ships happen to be in the waves that never made it to New Zealand, like Jango Fett's Starship and the Republic gunship. I'm still tracking those ones down, unfortunately, because I was kind of hoping that maybe Mattel would reissue them in the wave like we recently got with Darth Vader's TIE Advanced in the A-Wing. I didn't want to go and track them down and pay international shipping only for them to be re-released in a new wave. So I'm still kind of holding out that we'll see some of those prequel ships reissued, but I definitely need to add them to my collection. This is fantastic. That chrome finish is just absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice. You see the pictures online, but for things like this, it doesn't really do it justice. It looks beautiful in person. And now I'm going to have to find a nice, tidy spot in order to put this on my display shelf. I'm not sure, to be honest, if this one's going to go with my Hot Wheels collection or with my Queen Amidala items, because it's just, I love the finish. And this one's a little bit of a different format with my other Hot Wheels, which of course all come on those fantastic black stands. But this was a really fun, slightly different sort of product unboxing. Didn't really take the full product out, but it was a mystery box, so kind of felt like I was opening up a blind box. So I didn't really know quite what to expect. I'd seen some of the pictures online, but again, the size of this box is bigger than I was expecting. You know, I've seen the standard Starship Select boxes, and this one is so much wider and just, oh, it's just beautiful. Fantastic. I hope that anyone that wanted to get their hands on this one was able to secure it before it sold out, because this is just really, really cool. I'm hoping to see more from the Phantom Menace and just the prequels in general across this line. Of course, I love the original trilogy ships. There's been some really fantastic releases recently, some really fun ships. I absolutely love this line, and I hope that Mattel's got lots and lots of plans for many, many waves to come. This is just so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna have to go pop this away on a shelf somewhere where I can see it every day, because it's just really, really pretty. Oh, that finish. And I love the attention to detail with this whole presentation. Just really, really cool. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I kind of opened up a new Star Wars collectible, or at least I got it out of its shipping carton so I could finally see it in all its fantastic glory. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the galaxy, and let's hang out again very soon for more Star Wars fun. May the Force be with you. If you're a Hot Wheels Starship Select fan, I recently unboxed the New Republic E-Wing Fighter. That video is linked here in case you haven't already seen it, as well as a whole Hot Wheels Starship Select unboxing playlist. This is the way.